The ocean holds secrets that decide the fate of nations, and tuna fishing stands at the center. For centuries, humanity has relied on the sea, but few resources carry the same weight as tuna. From the bustling fish markets of Tokyo to the processing plants of Spain and the canneries of America, tuna is more than food. It is a pillar of global trade, culture, and survival. The demand is immense. Millions of tons are harvested each year to satisfy consumers worldwide, fueling an industry worth billions of dollars. But behind every can, every slice of sashimi, lies a story of technology, tradition, and human struggle against the vast and unforgiving ocean. Modern fleets deploy massive purse seine nets stretching kilometers across the water, backed by radar, sonar, and GPS to locate schools of fish with precision. At the same time, traditional fishermen continue to rely on handline methods, passed down through generations, proving that skill and instinct remain as vital as any machine. Each technique tells a different story: efficiency versus sustainability, mass production versus artisanal craftsmanship. Yet this story is not without conflict. Overfishing, bycatch, and habitat destruction threaten the very species that support millions of livelihoods. The challenge of our time is finding balance, how to meet demand without destroying the future. Understanding these methods, their strengths and their risks, is essential not just for fishermen, but for anyone who cares about what ends up on their plate. And this is the content of today's video. A wall of steel and nylon sweeps across the sea, closing in with relentless precision. This is the purse seine net, the backbone of the modern tuna industry, a marvel of engineering designed to capture entire schools of fish in a single strike. Stretching from 500 to 2,000 meters in length and plunging 100 to 250 meters deep, the net is vast enough to encircle a moving fortress of tuna beneath the waves. Its design is deceptively simple, yet devastatingly effective. Along the bottom edge, heavy lead weights drag the mesh downward into the depths, while a chain of buoys keeps the top afloat. Once deployed, the vessel maneuvers in a wide arc surrounding the school. Then comes the crucial moment. A massive drawstring at the base is pulled tight, transforming the net into an enormous bag. No escape remains for the fish trapped inside. But the power of the purse seine does not come from the net alone. Modern fishing fleets are equipped with cutting-edge tools, radar, sonar, and GPS that can locate schools of tuna miles away. Some even rely on reconnaissance aircraft or follow the flight of seabirds that circle above feeding grounds. Technology turns what was once a gamble into a calculated strike, where precision timing makes the difference between an empty deck and a fortune in the hold. Yet with this efficiency comes an ethical question. Can humanity continue to rely on methods that take so much, so quickly? Purse seining supplies the majority of tuna for the world's markets, especially canned products, but the sheer scale of these catches forces us to consider the cost, not just in dollars, but in biodiversity and the health of our oceans. What do you think? Should purse seine nets remain the backbone of tuna fishing? Or should the industry seek smaller, more selective methods? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Engines roar, sonar pings, and within minutes a vast net is racing across the ocean. This is the dramatic heart of purse seine fishing, the process that transforms a quiet sea into a battleground of technology, precision, and speed. Once a school of tuna is detected, there is no time to waste. Fish are constantly moving, and a moment's delay could mean losing the entire catch. The captain gives the signal. The vessel arcs around the school, unrolling the massive net into the water like a steel curtain. On the surface, buoys mark its path, while below, weighted lines drag the mesh deep into the blue. When the circle closes, crew members pull a giant drawstring at the bottom edge. The sea tightens, and suddenly the open water becomes a cage, an enormous bag brimming with life. Now comes the harvest. Powerful cranes and automated winches strain as thousands of fish are lifted from the water onto the deck. In a single set, a vessel can secure enough tuna to supply entire factories with raw material. This unmatched efficiency is why purse seining dominates the global industry, feeding millions through canned tuna production. But efficiency has a shadow. Bycatch, sea turtles, sharks, and countless non-targeted species often become unintended victims. Coral reefs may suffer when nets drag too close to fragile ecosystems, and the cost is enormous. Modern purse seine vessels require millions of dollars in investment, both in construction and in the advanced electronics that guide them. Despite the risks, purse seining remains the workhorse of industrial tuna fishing. It embodies the constant tension between human demand and environmental responsibility. Each set of the net is both a triumph of engineering and a reminder of what is at stake if balance is not maintained. If you want to keep exploring the hidden world of tuna fishing, the victories, the dangers, and the future of our oceans, make sure to subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey. The ocean shimmers, a flash of silver erupts, and a fisherman's hands tighten with urgency. This is handline fishing for bonito using pilos, a traditional yet highly effective method that strips fishing back to its essence: skill, strength, and instinct. Unlike industrial scale nets, this technique relies on minimal gear and maximum human ability. The setup is straightforward but clever. A pillow is a small, shiny lure made of metal or hard plastic, designed to imitate the frantic movements of a baitfish. Sometimes dressed with feathers or silicone skirts, its glint in the water is irresistible to bonito. A strong hand line, braided or monofilament, connects the fisherman directly to the sea, reinforced with a fluorocarbon or steel leader to withstand sharp bites. Gloves are essential. When a bonito strikes, the line cuts like a blade. The process begins with location. Fishermen watch for reefs, drop-offs, or the telltale dive of seabirds marking schools of baitfish. Once spotted, the lure is cast into the water. If bonito are feeding near the surface, retrieval begins instantly. If not, the pillow is allowed to sink before the action starts. The fisherman then pulls the line hand over hand in quick, jerky motions, mimicking the panicked flutter of injured prey. When the strike comes, it is sudden and violent. The fisherman must react instantly, yanking back to set the hook, then pulling steadily to wear down the fish. Each fight is a test of endurance. Bonito are fast, unpredictable, and powerful for their size, turning every catch into a contest between muscle and instinct. The strengths of this method are clear. It is simple, inexpensive, and remarkably effective. But it is also exhausting, demanding physical stamina and constant vigilance to avoid tangled lines or missed strikes. Where purse seines rely on machines, handline fishing is raw and human, carrying with it a sense of authenticity that no industrial net can match. It is a reminder that fishing is not just technology, it is tradition, skill, and the thrill of direct connection with the ocean. The line slices through the water, the lure shimmers, and a sudden pull explodes with fury. This is the art of handline fishing for tuna with Beto, a traditional method that demands raw strength, patience, and unmatched skill. Unlike the steel giants of industrial fleets, here the fisherman's body becomes the machine, and every strike is a battle fought hand-to-hand. At the heart of this technique lies the Beto, a slender lure of metal or hard plastic, 5 to 10 centimeters long. Its shine and jerky movement in the water imitate an injured baitfish, an irresistible signal to predatory tuna. The fisherman prepares a main line, 100 to 200 meters of durable nylon or parachute cord, thick enough to bear the strain of a powerful fish. A leader of fluorocarbon or steel is tied between line and lure, protecting against sharp teeth. Gloves are not optional. When tuna strike, the line burns like fire. The process begins with the hunt. Fishermen scan the sea for seabirds diving toward the surface, or for shimmering schools of baitfish. Once located, the line is dropped to depths of 20 to 50 meters, depending on the movement of the tuna. Then comes the rhythm, steady pulls, punctuated with sharp jerks to animate the beto, making it dance like wounded prey. The moment of truth is unmistakable. A violent tug snaps through the line, and the fisherman reacts instantly, yanking back to set the hook. From there, it is a test of endurance, pulling evenly, never allowing slack, feeling every surge of the fish's power. Smaller tuna may be subdued quickly, but larger ones, over 20 or 30 kilograms, push human strength to its limits. Without reels or mechanized support, this becomes a pure contest between man and ocean. The advantages of this method are clear. It is low cost, environmentally friendly, and highly selective, reducing bycatch compared to massive nets. Yet its challenges are equally real. It demands physical stamina, exposes fishermen to risk of broken lines, and struggles against larger tuna. Still, handline fishing with Bido remains a symbol of authenticity, proof that even in a modern world, the ocean still rewards those with skill, courage, and patience. The battle is over, the fish lies still, but its true value is only beginning now. Catching tuna is only half the story. From this moment forward, every decision determines whether the fish becomes a prized product on the market or a wasted effort at sea. Preservation is not a detail, it is the lifeline of the industry. The process starts immediately. Once a tuna is hauled aboard, the crew must act without hesitation. The fish is bled by cutting across the gills or tail, allowing the blood to drain fully. This step is critical, as residual blood accelerates spoilage and dulls the brilliant red flesh prized by buyers. The body is rinsed thoroughly with clean seawater, removing mucus and surface blood to prepare it for cooling. Next comes the most decisive factor, temperature. Tuna must be chilled quickly to prevent bacterial growth and preserve texture. The golden rule is 2 parts ice for every 1 part fish. Ideally, small flake ice is used, covering the body evenly and filling the abdominal cavity to keep temperatures consistent. Fish are laid horizontally in storage, never stacked too high, to avoid bruising the meat. Onboard cold storage systems maintain temperatures ranging from -8 degrees Celsius for short-term handling to -60 degrees Celsius for premium-grade tuna destined for export markets. Within this frozen range, the flesh retains its color, fat content, and firmness, ensuring it can command top value at auction. Quality checks are continuous. Crew members monitor the flesh tone, fat marbling, and overall freshness. Any lapse, stacking fish improperly, failing to maintain ice ratios, or temperature fluctuations can slash the economic worth of the catch. For high-value species like bluefin or big eye, proper handling may mean the difference between a fish selling for thousands of dollars or being downgraded to animal feed. Preservation is more than science. It is respect for the fish, for the ocean, and for the generations of fishermen whose livelihoods depend on maintaining the highest standards. The catch may last only moments, but careful preservation ensures its value will endure far beyond the deck of the vessel. The engines roar, cranes swing, and every second counts as precious tuna leaves the deck. Catching and preserving tuna is only the beginning. The next challenge is moving it safely from ocean to market without losing quality. Transportation is the critical link in the seafood supply chain, ensuring that the value created at sea survives the long journey to consumers. The process begins the moment fish are transferred from storage holds to shore. Heavy-duty cranes, conveyor belts, or specialized baskets are used to minimize handling and prevent damage. Exposure to open air is kept as brief as possible. Temperature shifts in those few minutes can determine whether the flesh remains top grade or begins to deteriorate. Once ashore, the cold chain must remain unbroken. Refrigerated trucks kept at -18 degrees Celsius or lower transport tuna to nearby processing plants or ports. For larger loads, refrigerated containers are employed, equipped with advanced insulation and temperature control systems. If fishing vessels operate far offshore, transshipment vessels act as mobile bridges, receiving tuna at sea and carrying it to port with dedicated refrigeration systems. mirroring those on board the fishing fleets. Traceability is essential. Each batch is carefully labeled, allowing processors and buyers to confirm the fish's origin, handling, and storage conditions. At this stage, quality inspections are performed, checking flesh color, fat content, and texture. Tuna that fails to meet the standards is separated for alternative uses, such as animal feed to preserve market integrity. From there, tuna enters the industrial phase. Processing plants may slice, can, or freeze whole fish for export. Premium-grade catches are packed into refrigerated containers and shipped by sea or flown by air to international markets. Both methods carry risks. Long shipping times or sudden temperature fluctuations can reduce freshness, while air freight, though faster, drives up costs significantly. Transporting tuna is more than logistics. It is a race against time and temperature. Every step from ship to shore to supermarket demands precision. A single mistake in handling can erase the value of days or weeks at sea, proving that in the tuna industry, the journey is just as important as the catch itself. The nets tighten, the lines strain, and the ocean silently asks, will we protect tomorrow? Every fish caught is more than food. It is a decision that shapes the balance between human need and the health of our seas. Modern methods, purse seines, hand lines with pillows or beto, deliver remarkable efficiency. They feed nations, sustain industries, and keep fleets alive. But efficiency without responsibility leads to emptiness. Empty oceans, empty futures. The first responsibility is clear: protecting marine ecosystems. Bycatch, the unintentional capture of turtles, sharks, and non-target fish, weakens biodiversity. Overuse of fish aggregating devices, FADs, alters natural behavior and destabilizes ecosystems. Coral reefs, already fragile, can be destroyed by poorly managed nets. Each of these consequences reminds us that the price of neglect is irreversible. The second responsibility lies in managing resources. Sustainable quotas, seasonal closures, and designated no-take zones allow tuna populations to regenerate. Without these, even the mightiest ocean cannot withstand relentless extraction. International certifications, such as those from the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, provide a framework for accountability, ensuring that what is caught today does not rob tomorrow. The future of the tuna industry depends on this balance. It is not a choice between progress and preservation, it is a marriage of both. Technology and tradition, when guided by responsibility, can coexist with conservation. By uniting high-yield fishing methods with strict stewardship, we can secure livelihoods for fishermen, maintain supply for global markets, and safeguard the biodiversity that makes the ocean resilient. The question we face is urgent. Will we pursue short-term profit or long-term survival? The answer must come from every hand on every net, every policy in every port, and every consumer at every table. In the end, sustainable tuna fishing is not only about protecting a resource, it is about protecting a legacy, ensuring that the ocean's bounty remains abundant for generations to come.
Primera.